My name's Chase, and I sing and play guitar in Living with Lions.
I'm Bill, and I play bass in Living with Lions.
I don't know, so much stuff, like, I guess pretty obvious ones, like Green Day and Saves the Day, or Green Day and Blink-182, like, were probably, like, the bands that made me want to play in a band the most. And then, like, my influences change, like, all the time, every, like, month, you know? You start listening to, like, a new record or, like, find new bands, and you kind of, like, get into different things, like, all the time. It's kind of hard to pinpoint stuff. But the basics, I'd say, influenced me the most, like Green Day and shit.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah.
Well, for Bill, it's, like, Slipknot.
Yeah, I'm more of like
Yeah.
a metal guy,
Yeah.
so.
He would never, like, know it. Maybe by his appearance he would, but Bill is, like, secretly, well, maybe not so secretly, loves, like, the craziest metal bands you've ever heard.
Yeah. I'm really into like just like metal and metalcore and fucking wild shit, man.
You have bands that you really like, or
Yeah, like I really like Born with Cyrus a lot, Amir, The Ghost Inside, and then like Slipknot and like new metal and stuff. That's like I grew up in a small town and like we all listened to like Godsmack and Korn and stuff, right? So like I kind of like grew up listening to heavy music like that, and then as we toured and as I started meeting more people and discovering new bands, all these bands reminded me of music I grew up with, so I get really stoked on it.
Yeah, it's a permanent decision, and it was just, I mean, when it came down to it, because it obviously, like, sucks losing a singer, like, one singer, let alone, like, two, you know? But when it came down to it, like, none of us wanted to stop playing in the band or touring. We've been doing it for, like, so long now, you know? Like, 5 years almost, maybe even, like, more. And Landon and Lauren and I had, like, always written, like, a lot of the music. You know, our old singer Matt was involved and Shane was involved, our old bass player as well a bit. But, like, we always wrote a lot together and spent a lot of time, like, working on everything. So, you know, like, the core of the band was, like, still there, you know? And it was just, like, we just thought it was pointless to stop. We didn't want to, you know? And so, yeah, like, everyone decided together that we keep on doing it. And it just, instead of getting a new singer, which we thought would be kind of silly, you know, like having like three new singers like coming in, just have me sing, you know, like I wrote all the vocals and lyrics for the last record almost, like Matt wrote some of the stuff. So it was like easy, you know, like singing my songs mostly now, and a lot of the older stuff like I worked on, so it was kind of like the most like natural thing that we thought we could do. No, well, I mean, not all of it, you know, like some of the, like I said, like Matt wrote a few songs on the newest record, and he wrote the majority of the stuff on the older records, so, I mean, I still have to sing, or still, you know, sing some of Matt's stuff, but I like it, you know, like that, I guess you could say that, like, a lot of those songs, like, mean a lot to me and probably the other guys as well, because, you know, like, a lot of memories are attached to those like songs when we, you know, like from that stage in our lives. So, so yeah. I mean, I'll just wait for this. But yeah, yeah. I like singing. I still like singing the old songs that Matt wrote a lot. I think for the most part, people have liked it. But I mean, we haven't really had it much to show anybody yet. So people have been like really supportive, and like a lot of people, you know, anybody that's decided to like say something about it, whether it be like on our Facebook or Twitter, seems really excited about the idea. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like it's gonna sound like different. It's not gonna be the same thing, and we know that, and we're fine with that. Like we just wanna make music and enjoy like this band that we've been working so hard with for like so many years, you know, like it sounds like so cliche and stupid to say, but like we honestly like don't really care like what people think about it, you know, and that's like how I've been trying to like take it. I've been like not really reading a lot of that stuff, like want to put the blinders on and just kind of like focus on writing and like try to be as good as I can, and that's kind of how I've been taking it. But people seem like pretty positive about
Yeah,
it.
I mean, for the people that have negative opinions about it, but are fans of the band, I kind of makes me confused just because I'm like, well, would you rather us break up or like change and keep going? Like inevitably you're gonna have to change. I mean, anytime I find with any band there's a change, someone's always gonna complain about it or have negative things. Like it's gonna happen. But I mean, we'd all obviously, like we just said, we'd rather keep going than.
Yeah, we think the more negative the remarks are, the funnier we think it is.
Yeah, and then
we kind of
just,
I guess like Phil especially loves reading stuff like
yeah,
that.
I love it. I want to go on the internet one day and find all the negative stuff and just read it all out. Like that. There's this guy from Vancouver that has he's like famous on YouTube and he reads all his hate mail out on like video blogs and it's super funny. So
Yeah, it would be fucking funny. We've written a bunch of new songs that we've been writing for the last 2 months or so, and our plan is this is like the last tour we're doing this year, and then our plan is to go home and write and record maybe in like the late winter, like springtime, hopefully. It kind of depends on how the writing goes, but so far we've been like writing a ton of stuff, and I feel like we're pretty much on track to like do another record soon. We want to we did a live recording of like 5 songs off Holy Shit about a month ago that we're gonna put online, and then we're gonna probably release some acoustic songs this winter as well, like some Holy Shit songs, and yeah, we want to like put as much music out as we can this winter. So even though we won't have like a record out this winter, we'll still be putting music out for people to like hear and download over the course of like the winter and stuff like that.
I love it here. It's like I'd rather tour over here than like go to America. Like I really like old buildings and culture and stuff, and like just like the food and like meeting new people. I mean we've obviously been to America a lot more times than we've been over here, but I mean every time it's still an adventure and it's exciting, and like everybody's like really nice to us. Well, sometimes people think we're American, but then when we tell them we're Canadian, then they're like, oh, they're like, fuck you, fucking Americans. We're like, we're Canadian. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know, like, here, have a beer. Like, all right. Like,
yeah, and like the shows have always been really fun. It's weird, like having been a band for quite a while and like going to places we've never been and like never even been close to, because you know like you still get that like small show kind of like, you know, first time kind of like vibe, which is, you know, it's just weird. But I remember like the very first time we came here, we had like no expectations because we didn't know how any of the shows would be, and it was fucking awesome. Like my favorite shows ever was the first show we ever played in Europe, which was in the UK, like quite far away, but it was a really, really awesome show. So we love touring here, and we're gonna come back a lot.
yeah, we want to try to come back here a lot more.
Yeah.
Remember that show that first time we played was it in Spain? That outdoor place?
No, in Italy.
Italy.
That
Yeah, it
was
was
good, huh?
crazy. Yeah, I have some really good memories of coming over here.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
our first time in Switzerland. Yeah, we heard the cheese is good, so we decided we could day here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been awesome so far. Marathon Man, the band we're on tour with, is like really cool. We've been sharing a van with them, so it's like really tight quarters. You know, like everybody has to be cool to make it work. They're awesome, and the shows have been really cool and really fun. And like Bill said, it's like Europe is just fucking awesome. You know, like every time I see like another friend's band like touring over here, I get so jealous just because it's such a like, you know, a lot of people pay like thousands of dollars to come traveling here and see all this really cool stuff. It's so different than North America, and we get to like come here and do this for free and like play shows and stuff like that. It's fucking, we're lucky dudes.
When I tell people like that, I'm like, I think this is almost like this is like third time in pretty much like a year and
Yeah.
a bit. Like we came to Europe. No one, I tell my friends I'm going to Europe 3 times this year. Everyone's like, that's crazy, you know? Like, this doesn't happen. People, yeah, like he said, save up for months or years to go on a trip, right? We just do it. It's great.
Best moment? Fuck. Bill, can you think of one? There's so many good ones.
Like doing the Warped Tour this summer
Yeah.
was unreal. I think that was like pretty much like the highlight of my musician career. Like when I was 18 or so, one of my old bands, we drove to play one or two Warped Tour dates, and it was like, you know, like shocking. You're like, oh my God, there's that band, and then to be on the tour and be on a bus like with our friend's band, like you're getting like the full experience. Like it felt like, you know, like I really worked hard to get to this point. It was very gratifying to be there.
Yeah, and there's lots of cool bands on it this year, and we had tons of friends on it too. So every night was super fun. That was definitely, like, I'd say one of my favorite things in a long time.
What else?
Worst moment? There's
I don't want to say any of those things.
I'd
really.
probably say one of the worst moments on tour ever was when Matt and us kind of like split up, because that happened like on tour. Luckily, we had one show left. We were almost home, and Matt and us got into like a big fight one night, I remember, and it was like the worst thing ever.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, Bill wasn't there for that, which he's lucky, because it was like fucking awful. It was really sad, but I don't know. The big good times like way outweigh the bad times. So yeah, we do. Like both those videos were mostly our friend Cody Fennell's idea, who does like a lot of our artwork, and he's doing a lot of music videos now, and he always puts like a lot of like crazy ideas and like thoughts into his thing, and he, I think, prefers to shoot like more of like a short film style of like a music video for the most part. So he like comes up with all these cool ideas, and then we just like go try to act them out, which is like fun. Like I enjoy that, because we're fucking horrible actors, so it makes for like some pretty funny stuff. I think, at least I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah. My only complaint is, for some reason, every time I've done a music video, I'm super hungover and I never learn my lesson. I don't know why. It's like, but it's a lot of work. Like, play the song. Like, the acting part is fun, but when you like have to play the song over and over, but you're not actually playing a show and you're not pumped up, it's just kind of like, it's like having to do aerobics for like 3 hours. You know, it's just like really hard.
I like shooting music videos though, especially with Cody, because he's just fucking hilarious. So hopefully we'll do more soon. Yeah, we're all really big fan of Blink-182, and Bill and I, we were told to do like a video announcing like Warped Tour, and because they were like on Warped Tour a long time ago, we thought it would be funny to do. We had this like stupid Blink-182 poster, and that was like the best idea we could come up with.
Yeah, we were sitting in this living room, and we're like, what are we gonna do for this video? Like you have to do a video. Doing it. Yeah,
shit like this. You know, that's like when somebody like makes you do like. It's not like somebody's making us do something, but it's like, you have to do this, and we're like, fuck. You know, we fucking hate like making videos when it's like, hey guys, how's it going? You know? So we were like, oh, we'll just make the fucking stupidest video ever.
Yeah, so I went in the bathroom to take a piss, and I like looked up, and there was a Blink-182 poster, and I was like, okay. I'm like, and I just kind of brought it out, and I'm like, well, can we use this? Like, it's like autographed and shit, I think, too.
Yeah, it was my roommates, but yeah, so it was sweet, because we made that video and they were like, this video fucking sucks. And we were like, yeah, I guess it does. And they're like, they just never asked us to make another video again, which was fucking awesome. You know, we were pretty stoked on that.
I did get a message from a kid asking me when he could get tickets for the Blink tour and when it was.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought we were going on tour with them.
But I totally misread the message though. That we had Blink-182 announcing that we were going to be on Warped Tour, not that we were going on tour with Blink-182. Yeah. So, but it was funny because people thought that, and I was just like, what are you talking about? And it's like, I don't know, man, probably in the next month you can get pre-order for those, so.
Yeah. I guess, like, to start off with the whole thing, it, basically what happened was we got funding from an arts program in Canada called Factor, who, like, fund bands and record labels and, like, people in the music industry. They give them money. Grant money and such to put towards like all that kinds of different stuff in the music industry, and we got a marketing grant to go towards help pay for recording our record and marketing and such. And almost every Canadian band gets Factor money for everything. Like, it's just something that it's like free money, you know, that's like they're, you know, given to you, so everybody takes it. You know what I mean? It's like, why not? So we made our record, made the artwork. Cody Fennell was the guy that does our music videos, did the artwork, and we put it out, and somebody for LA Weekly, I guess, saw it. We were sent it out to be reviewed, and or they got it to review it.
An American publication.
Yeah, and they were I guess they were like really right wing and like Christian and very upset by this artwork, mainly because when you get factor money, you have to put a Canadian heritage logo on the back of your CD to show that they were like supporting this record. And they were really angry that the Canadian government had given us money for this record that was offensive to like Christians, religious people or whatever. And so the government found out because it was this huge thing in America, and then the Canadian government found out, and they were really pissed off. When it all came down to it in the end, what it came down to was our prime minister and our heritage minister, two like huge members of parliament, obviously, are really, really conservative and don't believe in like arts funding. And it's like kind of things like that allow them to like take advantage of the moment and be able to like make an example of something so they can like remove funding for it. Like the heritage minister that was making a big stink about it had cut like $60 million from different art programs over like the last 3 years before that event like even took place. So like for if anybody was like interested in like reading up on it, it's like the proof was there. It's like this guy doesn't approve of like arts funding, you know, which is essentially like a great investment for the Canadian government. You know, bands that do get big or artists that do get big, like you see a return and it helps your economy in the end. It's like, but yeah, so he was really against it, and so was the prime minister, and that's kind of why they made a big stink. They had an opportunity to like show a record and talk about it.
They held it up in Canadian Parliament.
Yeah, and really talk about it, you know, in the media and be like, you know, this is why Factor is a bad program. Like these guys are just trying to offend Christians, and it's like there's poo in here and whatever. And yeah, it was just really them taking advantage of this situation, trying to cut funding from it because they thought it would be better to put into like fucking guns or jets or whatever the fuck they want to buy, which is what the Conservative government's more interested in Canada. Yeah, and it was funny too, like politicians on like both sides, like all different parties were like talking about it on the news, and like some people like, because in the end to us it was like it's an arts funding program, like whether or not they get their money from the government, it's like fuck, are you kidding me? Like whether or not they get money from the government, it's an arts funding program. You know, if the government wants to have a say in it, then they should call it a propaganda funding program, because that's not what art is, you know what I mean? Whether you see it as like being a piece of poo or fucking like the most beautiful album artwork in the world, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's what we wanted to do.
Our
it's
choice,
our,
not theirs,
yeah, it's
right?
our fucking art, you know, and if the government wants to step in and say that, then you can't label it arts funding. And that was our argument. It's like, that's fucking bullshit, you know what I mean? And like, and that's why, and they were saying, you know, like this band spent Canadian taxpayers' money like improperly, this is bullshit. And that's why we decided to do our Kickstarter campaign. It's like we asked Canadians to donate money so we could pay Factor back, because they asked us like, change the artwork and you can keep the money. We were like, no, we're not going to change the artwork, we'll give you your money back. So we asked Canadians to donate money, so when we gave the money back to Factor, we could be like, fuck you guys, this is from Canadian taxpayers. And that's what we did, and it worked really well. Like in one day, we had raised $14,000. You know, and we didn't ask for very much, but we just wanted to like show the Canadian government that they were being assholes. And it kind of came out that way, and then it worked really well. And I don't know, it was a shitty situation to be in when our record came out, but I don't know. It's like an interesting life experience to be like, to have like kind of people in the government and the government like affecting your life like so directly, you know what I mean? So personally, because you don't often experience that.
I kind of personally felt violated, you know, by like the people that are supposed to be protecting us.
Makes you realize like how important it is to like follow politics and be involved with that kind of stuff, because up to that point I didn't really give a shit, but when it like directly affects you in your life, you know, then you start caring. And you're like, fuck man, we have an idiot prime minister, like this sucks, you know? But anyways, yeah, long story. When I'm home, I work when I'm home, here and there. I work at like a skate shop back home. Like snowboard shop. I like love skateboarding, and I snowboard a lot in the wintertime when we never tour in the wintertime. So I do a lot of that. But like music is like by far my favorite thing to do in the world. But definitely like skateboarding and snowboarding. Same. I like watching movies, hanging out. Pretty plain stuff.
Yeah. I like, well, I do, up until recently I was doing like extermination, like pest control. But I'm kind of taking a break from that right now, but I'm going to probably go back when I get home, I'm not sure. But I like skateboarding, video games,
Magic cards.
Dungeons and Dragons, World of Warcraft. I'm really into Star Wars.
Bill's the nerd of the band.
Yeah.
He was like,
Hanging out with my friends.
when we were on Warped Tour, like Magic was like one of the main sponsors, and all the band, like Bill, already played like Magic all the time, and all the bands like found out that Bill was like a hardcore like Magic player, so people would come to our bus all the time, and be like, "Hey, is that guy with the tattoos here? Like, can he come teach us play Magic?"
It's like
And
the
Bill would
Magic
be
card
like,
game. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
yeah, Matt Bill would like go to everybody's buses and like teach them to play Magic and shit. And, like,
Yeah, it's really
it
fun.
was
Really
really
cool.
funny. Fuck. I'm sure there is.
Hell yeah, we're all single and ready to mingle.
Yeah.
So girls,
Yeah.
if you're
Do you guys
coming-
have girlfriends?
Yeah,
That's the
dude,
question.
None of us have girlfriends, and we want all the girls to know that.
Yeah. What was it? What did you say the other day? Everybody's been dumped in like the last like 2-3 months. Within the last 3 months, everybody's been dumped.
Yeah.
It was, what did you call the dump virus? Is
Yeah,
going
all our
around?
girlfriends caught the dump virus from each other,
Yeah.
and they all dumped us. So, bring your wallets to buy merch, and then buy us drinks, and then make out with us after.
Yeah, I can't think of any questions really. I don't know. That's a hard one. I'd have to think about that for a while. I don't know. Nobody ever really asked us about hockey, and I could talk about hockey for like ever.
Didn't you
'Cause we're
do a
fucking
hockey interview
Canadian.
once?
We're Canadian. Yeah, we did. I did a hockey interview one time. And we actually didn't end up talking about hockey at all. Talked about penises for a little while. It was so weird. We started talking about rugby, and then next thing you know, we were talking about dicks, and then that was like the end of the interview. And it was like about hockey. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, nobody asked us enough hockey questions. We're Canadian. We love hockey, so.
Because you're
Bill
Canucks
doesn't.
fans.
I don't
We
like
are.
I don't like sports other than skateboarding. Like I can't handle I watch hockey when those guys watch hockey. I'm like, oh yeah, like, but like I fucking hate watching sports. I hate playing sports. Like, hate it, man. Makes me so angry just talking about it.
So Bill doesn't want those kind of questions.
No. Yeah, nothing I can think of right now.
Probably more Star Wars questions for Bill.
Yeah. Just like nerd stuff. I want to get interviewed by I want to go to like comic conventions and people can like come ask me questions about my life.
Like the Flatliners and Carpenter, and Carpenter's from Vancouver. Comeback, I mean, like big bands, I guess, but like just awesome bands like Comeback Kid and like Propagandhi. Everybody knows those bands, though. I think. I don't know. There's lots of cool bands in Canada for sure.
Trying to think. My brain's a little fuzzy today. Vancouver, nothing really going on there right now.
No, Precursor is a cool band
Yeah,
from Vancouver.
there's a band called Precursor,
Library,
Library,
it's another cool one.
Cliff Jumper.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's probably about it. But yeah, there's cool bands to check out. I don't know. Vancouver's kind of like got a mellow music scene, so it's not very often that you come across like awesome bands there, I feel like.
My number is.
Yeah,
Add us on Instagram, add us on Facebook.
motherfuckers. Yeah.
To anybody that's come out to any of the shows over here, thanks so much for coming. And if you're planning on coming, come say hi because we love to hang out. And yeah, just thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for the interview.